Episode 34 now of season 2 of the Third and 10 podcast is live. What's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Nate Bryant here to my right. We hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are. Whether you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys' support. We are on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Third and 10 Pod, where we have clips released every single week. And shout out to you guys for giving us views on our YouTube Shorts and our TikToks. I think we approached over 500 views for
Let's
our
go.
couple TikToks. So thank you guys so much. And considering that we have 100 subscribers, that's a pretty big deal to us. So
Mhm.
thank you guys for your support. Brian, happy Tuesday to you. How you doing?
Doing well. I don't even know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Every weekday it was just kind of gearing up for a Mets playoff game, and we'll get to that later. But I don't know what to do at night now. Very bored.
And it feels weird, right? Because it's just like,
Yeah, I love the Mets, but I'm gonna enjoy not having my stomach just be just a wreck all day and just being the anxiety and the build up and just the tossing and turning. But also gonna miss just living and dying with every single pitch. And this
um,
World Series matchup is just couldn't be the Guardians. I have to still care because it's the Yankees.
yeah, we'll talk about the Mets probably later on as well. I want to get your full season review on them. But just to keep it short to begin the Mets, or to prepare for the Mets discussion later on, I should say, it was a heck of a season. I mean, for you guys to get that far, to push the Dodgers to
Yeah,
6 games.
I'm writing the eulogy right now, and I'm in May, and writing about all the bad times, and I'm just how did this team do it? It's just
Mhm.
more just I'm writing about the Jorge Lopez and blowing 5 games in the ninth inning. What are we doing?
Yeah, like
It gives you so much perspective on how truly special it was. I haven't gotten the grimace yet. Once you get the grimace, it's gonna get really crazy.
Grimace and then the Hawktua girl and all that.
Tua, Seymour Wiener, the rally pimp,
The pumpkin.
the playoff pumpkin, got it all the gimmicks.
Heck of a season by you guys. Seriously. Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series, and we'll get to that, of course, later on in the show as well. But first, we discuss the NFL, and our beloved Giants, who didn't.
Beloved.
Yeah, they.
The team that we are stuck with is more of what the Giants are right now.
Yeah, thank God basketball starts today. Uh, go Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks and Rangers are good, so why do you even care about the Giants? I could just go from the Mets, who are a playoff team, to two other playoff teams.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a fun fact I want to bring up with hockey, actually, because Brian, I want to give you two numbers to start the show, to start the Giant segment, I should say. And those are 20 and 16. I assume, and I'm just saying this just to, that I don't want to, be wrong here, but I want to assume that you don't know what those two numbers mean whatsoever.
20 and 16.
Correct.
Is 20 the amount of home games that have been played since Daniel Jones threw a touchdown pass?
Sort of.
Sort of.
There have been 20 quarterbacks and 16 NHL players
Yes, I have seen this.
who have scored more points than Daniel Jones at MetLife Stadium since 2023.
I did see that. Yes, that Zach Wilson is the leader right now with 6 touchdown passes. It's the only time Zach Wilson will ever be atop of any NFL passing list. 5 interceptions.
Yeah, point. He's in where is he again?
He's backing up Bo Nix in Denver.
All right. Well, he's doing a pretty good job with that.
Holding the clipboard. Best job in sports.
Yeah, to get paid that much to hold a clipboard. Yeah, I do it too.
He went to BYU. I'm pretty sure he's from the Utah area, so he's. I don't want to say he's home, but he's close enough to home.
Close enough.
He could shoot over. He could shoot over for family dinner if he really wanted to.
Exactly. But yeah, he's living the life. Meanwhile, our quarterback is suffering back there. But hey, it's his fault, not ours, or the teams, because I don't know what to say. I thought,
It's the more things change, the more they stay the same, and it's been proven time and time again that Daniel Jones is just not the franchise quarterback for this Giants team. And the fact that there are still people that are going to defend him is mind-boggling. Like, it's been 6 years, guys, and he hasn't done anything to prove, especially the past 2 years. What has he done signify that he's a franchise quarterback? There's a chance there's going to be a different president the next time Daniel Jones throws a touchdown pass in MetLife Stadium. Right? If he doesn't throw a touchdown pass in 2 weeks against the Commanders at home, it'll be a different president. That's the last game before Election Day. That is ridiculous. Like, ow.
and for those of you who don't know, the Giants are in Pittsburgh next month, so that's why.
Pittsburgh, they'll play the final home game against Washington, which, like, it's a weird stat. Like, it's funny. The Commanders, I forgot if it's their last home game or the last game before the election. If the Commanders win, the party that's in power normally wins the election. If they lose, the opposite party would win. If you go back, like, the past, like, amount of elections, it plays out perfectly. It's crazy. It's like one of those weird, like, coincidences.
No, they put so the Commanders and Giants play on November 3rd at MetLife Stadium. So technically,
Let me look that up. Washington Commanders election prediction here, right here. The red. Yeah. Whoa. The outcome of the last Washington home game and the presidential election.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rule has been upheld since the big streak. So from 1936 to 2012, the rule was in place. It's the last home game. So if Washington wins their final home game, whatever party is in power, so let's, like, right now, like, if Washington wins, Harris win the election, but if they lose, Trump wins the election. That's kind of what it is. Whoever isn't in gets in. And it's been the only time it hasn't worked out was in 1932, 2016, and 2012. The rest of the time, it's worked. Weird coincidence.
You would think, like, if the Washington Commanders win, whoever is the Republican would win because it's red and red. That's how I was thinking.
Red, yeah. Yeah. Start with R's. Well, used to start with R's at least.
Yeah. Oh. The Reds. You know what? I guess
it's a fun, stupid rule. It's like one of those things that, like, it's just a coincidence, but it is just kind of fun to follow along with.
Election Day is what, November 2nd or 3rd?
5th. Yeah, because November 3rd is that Sunday.
Well, literally, Jones has 2 weeks to figure it out.
Jones has one game to do it. He's got one game.
One game to do it. And he has everyone back. He might even play. Who knows?
You know what? I would not hate if he didn't play.
Me too.
I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute.
But yeah, this was a pathetic showing by this team. It's not surprising, to be honest. Like, we knew the Eagles were going to win. It doesn't matter by how much. If the Giants pulled it off, great. If they didn't, it wasn't going to be to no one's surprise. This team is not 0-4 at home. They put up 119 total yards of offense. Why does that matter? This is the least amount of yards they put up since week 1 of 1999. I wasn't born, and Brian wasn't born. That's bad. They put up 107 against Tampa that year in a 17-13 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game was all about Saquon Barkley. And, well, everyone was booing, but it didn't matter. There was boos throughout the whole game, but it kind of just died down as Saquon just continued to just kill this team.
Because all the Giants fans went to the parking lot. That's why it died down. Eagles fans took over.
See, you're not wrong. Saquon Barkley had a 55-yard touchdown run, or 55-yard run, I should say, that led to his first touchdown. He also had runs of 41 and 38. Overall, the finishing with 17 carries for 176 yards and one touchdown, 13 yards short of his career high, which was 189 against the Commanders in 2022 when he was with the Giants. The Eagles led 14-3 at the halftime after a scoreless first quarter, and they never looked back as the Eagles did not pass the ball well whatsoever, but they sure ran the ball down our throats. How bad were the Giants, though, exactly statistically wise? Well, Saquon had 187 total yards of offense. The Giants had 119. The Eagles combined had 339 total yards of offense. So you can say this Giants offense continues to be lackluster, but I think we've reached a new low here this season. So we'll start with the
Yup.
offense. Um, when Bo Nix threw for 79 passing yards a few weeks ago against the Jets, I don't think it was much of a red flag because the Broncos won and he's a rookie. So to me, he gets the pass.
Yeah.
When your 6-year quarterback throws for 99 yards, you would think, I'm going to say in one drive. No, 99 yards in one game. One game. What are we doing? Was no one open? No. There's a lot
No,
of
Daniel Jones can't read the plays. He can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Look for his guys.
Now, was he sacked 7 times? Yes. Was it all because of the O line? Apparently not. You would think so, right? No. Pro Football Focus had all offensive linemen for the Giants ranked above 68%. John Runyon, John Michael Schmitz, Chris Manhertz, tight end, Tyron Tracy, running back, Jermaine Oluminor, Greg Benno, and Josh Azudu had an 80.1 Pro Football Focus grade, and Theo Johnson had an 81.8 Pro Football Focus grade. What does that mean? This offensive line plus the tight ends, they actually blocked. Jones caused himself to get into those sacks once again because this man does not have any mother effing pocket awareness whatsoever. Jesus, I don't know. He had a touchdown pass, but it was negated by a pass interference by Theo Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But
You gotta do a better job, Theo. I know Theo's a
Yeah.
rookie, but you gotta do a better job with that.
Gotta
You
do a
can
better job.
you can do it, but you gotta hide it.
I know.
Go off the ball if you do like that.
Good morning, Matt. Hope you're doing well, man. I wonder if Matt is West Coast. Oh yeah, it makes sense if he's West Coast because it's afternoon for you guys in the East. But hi, Matt. Hope you're doing well, man. But yeah, Jones is benched for Drew Lock, and it's not like Lock did any better because
I saw a lot of people on Twitter arguing about the benching, and it's very people are saying Jones got benched for performance, and then there's the Jones defender like, no, he only got benched because the game is out of reach. Guys, those things can't be true at the same time. Jones was probably taken out of that game because the Giants were out of reach and stuff, and they couldn't mount any comeback. But if you listen to Brian Daboll in that post-game press conference, if he had any other option but Daniel Jones, he's going with it right now. Okay? The way Daboll was at that press conference, it felt like he was like, I can't do any explosive plays. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's basically saying I can't call the offense I want to call because Daniel Jones isn't good enough to run that offense, and I don't trust him to make the plays that he needs to make. Right? So both can be true at the same time. And frankly, if like Tyrod Taylor's still on this roster, I guarantee you he's starting this week against Pittsburgh because Daniel Jones is over. He's missing. He's not doing explosive plays. He's not reading the field. He's doing checkdowns when there's wide open guys downfield. And when he actually hits the wide open guy downfield, the accuracy on the ball is so bad the receiver has to stop and go back for the ball. So it's Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback and is not playing well. Like, sure, his benching was because the Giants were out of the game, but his performance in that spot on the bench.
As a matter of fact, I will help you. He didn't deserve to be benched. He should have been out there still. What does he do? What has he done? I should say to get benched.
Daboll said, "I put Drew Lock in to spark the offense."
Yes,
That alone is your biggest sign that Daniel Jones is not trusted by his coaching staff. Yeah. When he says, "I put Drew Lock in to try to ignite the offense," Daniel Jones is struggling. That's simple.
Yeah, and guess what? He didn't provide no freaking spark. That son of waste of a signing.
The video probably would have sparked at least from the crowd perspective would have something
just to get him back in it. Get the crowd back in it, at least.
The crowd would have been like, "Oh my God, DeVito's back." There would have been a standing ovation, laughing, clapping. Like there would have been excitement to watch DeVito play football again.
And we've seen
it's a lot like it's like Mike White. He's not a good quarterback, but like he just has had these moments that makes him just like untouchable in Giants fans' eyes.
Mm-hmm. And he'll build off that, the fandom and everything. If he did enter the game, DeVito would. Maybe he'll start in a couple of weeks. Who knows? You bring up a great point with the Daboll stuff because I have a clip I want to show. Because it's clear that the playbook cannot fully be used as long as number 8's under center. When asked about the whole Daniel Jones stuff, well, here's Daboll.
What is wrong with the offense right now? Obviously, you said 119 yards
in
a game.
Yeah, just not good enough all the way around, Jordan.
Is there anything that you look at and say that this area is we need?
Well, the two areas that we continue to work on, actually 3 over and over again, are third down, red zone, and explosive plays. And another game where, I don't know what our longest play was. It couldn't have been too long, 14 yards. I don't know what it was, but it's hard to generate points when your longest play is 14 yards, or your longest play last week is 15 yards. So you can do that one of two ways: catch and run, things like that, or push the ball down the field and give our guys some chances or go up and make some plays. We're continuing to work on that. Those are two areas that we put a lot of time and effort in, and we're not getting the results. It's not equaling the work and the effort that we're putting into it. So those are two areas.
When you heard Daboll be that candid about what's going wrong with this team?
He says the same thing every week, and honestly, I don't blame him because it's the same crap he has to deal with every single mother effing week. I swear.
This time it felt different. It felt like he was actually like being just like, "All right, this is what I see in practice. It's this. This is the problem, and it's not getting fixed with this team."
Mm-hmm.
Like
explosive plays
really falls on Daniel Jones for what that is. From pushing the ball downfield, doesn't do that. Catch and run. Daniel Jones doesn't throw the ball good enough that a receiver can't catch and run. He has to stop, catch the ball, and then have momentum to go.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Jones can't hit somebody in stride. That's what a catch and run's supposed to be. He can't do that.
1.2 yards per pass against Philly. It's freaking terrible. Now, Daboll immediately committed to Jones as a starter going forward in the opening segment of his news conference. But let's be honest. Yeah, what else are you supposed to do? Like, I don't freaking. But
hard, guys. It's Daniel Jones is the best option to win. That's more of I don't have a backup that I feel more comfortable with than Daniel Jones. I don't feel comfortable with Jones, but I know Locke can't do it, and DeVito's not good enough. That's what that means. Like, if the Giants could go out and trade for Justin Herbert or trade for Stafford, they would do it, and it'd be DeVito time. It is. Yeah, Matt, you're 100% right. Just for the fans again to watch football, they'll be more likely to watch it if a fun quarterback like Tommy DeVito is playing rather than like Daniel Jones, who you just, except for 25% of his fan base, can see this guy's not a good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Still has defenders is the most mind-boggling thing I've ever seen. How can you be like, it's not his fault, it's the GM and coach's fault, and we need to move on from them? Bro, what?
Yes, because giving him Belichick's going to change something.
7? watching in New England after Brady left? What was that? All right. I love Bill Belichick to death. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the greatest coach in NFL history. The game has passed him by. He's not going to come in here and be what you guys think he is. It's going to be like Joe Judge. Not as bad as Joe Judge because Bill Belichick is professional and like there is credibility with him, so it won't collapse like under Joe Judge. But it's going to be like it is New England with the struggling going on. It's going to set the franchise back.
14.1 points per game this offense is averaging with Jones. That's pathetic, obviously. And this coach has nothing, something he could do but believe in number 8.
He's handcuffed to a bad quarterback. And he's just like, I can't. You're asking him to swim with a brick tied to his leg. Like, I can't do it. And
he's tried. You know, they tried to support him and give him everything he needs, and he still can't do it. You know, I don't know. I mean, obviously, made the playoffs in 2022, but a lot of one-score games, not a lot of explosive plays. You know, if any, it was from Saquon.
Run first team too. Like they ran the ball like 60% of the time.
Yep, run first team, play great defense. That's what led them to a 9-7-1 record that year to make the postseason. Look, I'm the only way, I think for me, I should say, and I'm sure for you too, and a lot of Giants fans out there, if Jones loses next week against Pittsburgh, I think he should and will be benched. Because here's the thing. If this dude gets hurt, he's owed $23 million guaranteed next year. And that's not including the contract. This is the injury guarantee, $23 million. So we're going to cut him for all, and there's no way we keep him. So we're going to cut him, owe him whatever money he has left, I think, plus the $23 million if he gets hurt.
Yep.
But we've seen quarterbacks get benched for doing at least better than Jones during that time of their benching. For example, Russell Wilson last year for Denver, right? He was benched by the Broncos last year to protect the injury guarantee. Let's see who else. The Raiders last season, Jimmy Garoppolo, rather than risking him getting hurt, they benched him, which would guaranteed an additional $11 million towards his contract.
I'd rather have any of those quarterbacks than Daniel Jones right now too.
Oh, well, one of them balled out for Pittsburgh. The other one is on the Rams. Yeah,
I was gonna say Rams. Yeah, Rams.
Rams back up to Stafford. It's the same. The reason why I'm hesitating a lot with this episode so far, it's just we're gonna say the same thing over and over again. And it's like I don't know what I can tell you guys differently.
Yeah.
And Brian, the same thing. We don't know what to tell you guys because everything.
The only thing I can tell you is just bench Jones. That's it. I think I'm more on the bench Jones train than I have been in the past. That's the only. Yeah, Giants definitely losing to the Steelers. They killed the Jets.
He probably suffered.
The Raiders is not a bad move for the Raiders.
Give us Minshew or O'Connell. I don't know. Not like I want any of them
for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for the rest of the year for sure.
Like the rest of the year, and like just have him be like the bridge guy because I think he's got another year in his contract, right? At the end of this year,
I believe so. I think it was like a 2-year deal. I think with Minshew.
Yeah, so you could draft your quarterback and like have it be like, okay, he can start, but like have to start because we have Minshew.
But yeah, with Jones, he still does not have a touchdown pass at MetLife Stadium this year. The only touchdown that he scored at MetLife was that Tyler Tracy score, that touchdown run. So far this year, Giants have 1 touchdown and 31 points at home this season with Jones at quarterback. Unacceptable. That means 7.75 points per game this year at home for the New York Football Giants when number 8 is under center. You would think the quarterback performance is affecting just the coach. No, the players are also affected as well because it's common sense. When your quarterback's playing terrible, you're affected. Why is that relevant? I don't know. Maybe our best receiver has an issue now with the quarterback. So much for supporting Jones, and honestly, I don't blame this guy. Malik,
No.
tell us how you feel.
Was there anything about the Eagles' defense, especially in the first half, that they were doing differently that maybe you had not seen on film?
Nah, I mean, nothing really different. I mean, watch the target tape. That was it. I was open.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
And he's right. Not only was he open, he was pointing out receivers that were wide open. He's right. I watched that. Well, I didn't watch the film. I watched a TikTok of a guy breaking down the film, and he literally goes, like, look at Malik Neighbors on this route. He's pointing, I believe it was Darius Slayton, was wide open on a cross against midfield. He points him out. Number one wide receiver should not be pointing out wide open guys for your quarterback. That's for your quarterback to have the wherewithal to be like, okay, who's open? He's open.
It's honestly a ticking time bomb with Neighbors. Ever since he was drafted, and I hate to admit it now, him and Daniel Jones were never going to work. Yes, was Jones feeding him the ball multiple times in the first 2 weeks? Yes. But Neighbors knew deep down inside, it was like, this dude is not my quarterback. I have to catch passes from him because.
All knew it.
Yeah.
A minute, but we were all like, this is never going to work. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback.
Like, this is not his quarterback of the future. Like, he has to work with him for 1 year, but this isn't his quarterback that he's going to work with for the rest of his career as a Giant, which I hope will be forever until he retires. But he's frustrated, dude. And it's like, that's what ticked me off the most was like, it wasn't that Daboll was pissed. It was Neighbors that's pissed because you drafted this guy 6 overall because he is the new Odell Beckham Jr. He is your new.
Here's the guy supposed to help Daniel Jones.
Yes.
And that's not even like speculation. No, Shane, we have a documentary series that said Neighbors was brought in to help Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm. And Neighbors is helping him literally by, like you just said, pointing at receivers that are open. It's Jones that isn't helping Neighbors and Wandale and Hyatt and Slayton and Johnson and every single offensive weapon on this team because his struggles are just affecting the whole damn team. And if you're Daboll, you have to sit back and say, if my receiver is saying this stuff, something has to change. And I'm sure Mara's up there.
I guarantee you, the receivers are saying it, and the defense has played, an amazing first quarter. And I know they gave up 28 points, but like,
let's be honest, it's not their fault for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't think they're thinking the same thing? We're busting, our butts out here, and Daniel Jones is just continuing to waste it.
Mm-hmm. Like
Dexter Lawrence should strangle Daniel Jones right now.
Him and Brian Burns. Yeah, those two guys are playing. We'll get to the defense in a bit, but they've been playing absolutely phenomenal this year. Especially Dexter Lawrence, who leads the league in sacks, by the way, with 9 of them.
Burns had a great 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
To New York, Brian Burns. I know it was a slow start, but he's here now.
Yeah, at least he's showing up. When you have a slow start, you bounce back from that. You don't have a slow start and continue with that slow start throughout the whole year, like number 8 has done. Malik with 4 catches, 41 yards. Wandale had 6 catches for 23 yards. So not a pretty bad performance by both of those guys. But let's be honest, the passing game was non-existent. So, Drew Lock came in, proceeded to fumble twice. He threw a deep ball down the field to Hyatt, but then that led to a cracked rib for Jalen Hyatt, so he's gonna be out for a while. So that's where.
Wait a minute, hang on. We're not gonna have our one target of Jalen Hyatt a week. Come on, the season's over.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Low key, like I feel like he's sort of done as a Giant, but then again, I don't think we should evaluate or criticize any receiver until
Hyatt is definitely, I think, on the way out. Just because I don't think the coaching staff trusts him.
He's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, because if they trusted him, why isn't he out there more?
Mm-hmm. He's just a one-trick pony, and maybe that Cowboy scout was right.
Yeah. Well, is Hyatt gonna be like a lot of value? No, he's probably gonna have like a similar value as like a Bryce Young type. I'm not saying like the same thing, but like you're buying low on this player because you think there's still upside to him.
Kansas City, I don't know. They could use some receivers.
City, like San Francisco, because of Aiyuk being down, maybe they go out and grab him. A Pittsburgh, like that.
I can't with number. I can't. Dude, it's the same thing.
I can't keep watching him, and like I'm watching these college quarterbacks, and like I have so much faith in Jones and Daboll and Shane because they saw C.J. Stroud and Daniels like quarterbacks. Even Drake May, like I know we weren't Drake May fans. Daboll liked Drake May, and he's been fine in New England so far. I won't say great, but he's been fine.
He played pretty solid against. We'll get to that game later, but he played extremely well against Jacksonville despite the loss on Sunday in London.
Malik Neighbors.
I'm sorry?
Give him Malik Neighbors.
Oh, man, you give him Malik instead of DeMario Douglas over there in New England? Sheesh.
Give Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, and Harry Slayton. I know those two guys drop the ball a lot, but those are three solid receivers. I think that's a better receiving core than what's going on in New England right now.
100%. I've seen people call for Shane's head and or Daboll's head, and I'm like, you mother effers don't know.
The only thing you give him credit hard time for is the Daniel Jones contract, but they were also forced at the same time to give him that contract.
Yeah, because
it was a lose-lose situation. If they let Daniel Jones walk and he goes to the Raiders, let's say, and becomes a Hall of Fame quarterback, well, it's Joe Shane, Brian Daboll supposed to let him walk after he figured it out. And now we have this situation going on. So, like, there were a lot of situations they were going to lose if they didn't bring back Daniel Jones.
And I think a lot of people fail to realize, we know Shane wasn't 100% on board with that contract.
The contract wouldn't be structured the way it was if he had confidence in Daniel Jones. There wouldn't be this opt-out.
It was kind of like meeting Mara in the middle, like, okay, we'll give him this contract, but we're gonna put this potential out just in case.
We need a backup plan in case it doesn't work out, and thank God he did. I don't think a lot of people give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm. You add the
way. So you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, just remember the Saquon Barkley clip from Hard Knocks? How like we saw Mara like I don't know lose sleep if Saquon leaves. Yeah. Shane is literally frustrated too because you forced him to give Jones that contract, and now you're being asked by your owner to give the same crap to Saquon Barkley, who, let's be honest, if Saquon was here still, this offense wouldn't. What it could have been worse because what do teams have to do? Load the damn box. Can Jones perform? Well, obviously not. I mean, the box isn't loaded anymore, and Jones is still where the boxes can be loaded sometimes, and he still sucks. So don't come at us and say, oh well, if Saquon Barkley was still here, this Giants team would be better. No, he was here last year. It looked like the same.
Maybe a little better.
A little.
Maybe. We're not a playoff team overnight if Saquon Barkley is here or not. We're not.
Mm-hmm. Like the Eagles are better structured, and that's why he's having so much success over there. Mm-hmm. Compared to here, he wouldn't.
Yeah, because here Saquon Barkley was the piece they built around, whereas in Philly they already built around. The roster was already built. Mm-hmm. Saquon's a supporting piece to that.
Which is what he deserves because, honestly, he's been with us for so long where he's been the focal point. And now he's in Philly where he's able to thrive. And, the team can depend on other guys like A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. Like
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts.
I just say Saquon Barkley's not getting the run game going. You have a dual-threat quarterback in Jalen Hurts that can rush for 50, 60 yards a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not just number 8 needs to go. Either that or he just needs to be benched and just get us out of our misery. The day he gets benched, I'm sure will delight a lot of Giants fans. But at this point, if I'm blaming anyone, I'm blaming Jones because at this point, dude, I don't know what is going on with you mentally. We've dealt with you for so
He's
many
broken.
years.
He's broken.
He's
It's not going to work here. That's simple.
and if he succeeds somewhere else, great. And I saw a tweet this morning. You can love Jones the person, doesn't mean you have to love the player on the field. And I think that
Yeah,
describes us the most. Is that we because
someone tweeted out a picture of him on draft night with his family. He's like, "Can you hate this family man?" I'm like, "I can hate the football player." Yes, the football player is not that guy.
exactly, like he may be an outstanding person, which he is. He's a great. He knows how to deal with the media. Yes, but that does not mean shit if he can't perform on the field. So before we
all these like charitable like all the charity that Dak Prescott goes through with all the mental health stuff and all suicide prevention. That is all amazing. I am fully on board and supporting that. But as soon as Dak Prescott puts the number 4 on and goes on the football field, it's over. I hate you because you are a rival and could prevent me from winning a football game.
Damn right.
He takes the uniform off. It's back to you're a great guy. Keep doing what you're doing. But when that football jersey's on, it's a different person. You hate the jersey, not the man wearing it.
Exactly. So, in terms of the game itself, the Giants punted 11 times. They got just 10 first downs, 2.2 yards per play. Brian Daboll punted on 4th and 3 at the Eagles' 43-yard line on the opening drive of the game. The Giants did not advance that deep into Philadelphia territory until the final possession of the first half. So basically, this Giants offense was they could not move the ball for basically anything to save their life, to be honest, because some guys back there not completing explosive plays, and honestly, he was never known to make explosive plays at Duke. So don't know why we even drafted him 6 overall.
He looked like Eli Manning.
Yeah, but at least Eli.
I'm always convinced that. And this was a conspiracy theory that went around around the time of the draft, is that Jerry Reese, when Ernie Accorsi left, the 2 candidates for the job were Jerry Reese and Dave Gettleman, and Jerry Reese got picked, and Dave Gettleman wanted a chance with a young Eli, so he drafted the quarterback that most reminded him of a young Eli, and that was Daniel Jones. Makes a lot of sense if you put it out like that. This segment of Giants fans that want the Giants to tank for Arch Manning, guys, we haven't seen Arch Manning play at Texas yet. You could say, oh my God, he's a Manning. How can he not be good? Just because Eli Manning worked here doesn't mean Arch Manning's going to work here, okay? And Arch Manning needs to start a season in college before I'm ready to dub him the next great quarterback, okay? We've seen him in very select circumstances, and it hasn't blown me away.
Keyword is starting a full season. He's played 2 games. Started 2 games against
2 games and UTSA.
Yeah, UTSA and then UL Monroe. That is.
Or did he start? Did he start the Mississippi State game? That Quinn Ewers.
Good question.
I'm looking it up right now.
All right.
I know he came in relief for the Georgia game, but that wasn't a good performance. That wasn't a good performance either. They were basing it on that. I don't want to touch Arch Manning.
Like he needs a full season to play and show what he can do. I mean, in spurts, he's shown that he can be a good quarterback, but
he has been drafted because in spurts look like a good quarterback.
Daniel Jones.
Bingo.
6 overall, but
Daniel Jones had 10 good snaps at the Senior Bowl, and we were ready to double. All right, he did play Mississippi State, but that was a game where they struggled in the first half. People thought it was going to be a blowout, and it was 35-13, but at halftime it was 14-6, and going into the third quarter it was 21-6. Mississippi State was right there.
I mean, he's played Mississippi State, he's played Monroe. Those aren't teams that Mississippi State isn't a dangerous team. Let's be honest. Neither is Monroe. Um, yeah, look, I can't deal with losing for 2 years. I know a lot of teams and fans have
Love the quarterbacks in this draft either, but like I just need somebody else. Like I need a long-term solution. I don't need more bridges to Arch Manning because his last name is Manning,
mhm,
right?
yeah. There's plenty of options for the Giants to choose
Guys, we can
from.
go outside the Manning tree and not get killed. Like it's okay. This team can
Well,
have
yeah,
sex without Manning.
yeah. It's just Mara, dude. I swear, with that guy, I never knew, right, that I would be a fan of a team with a trash owner. Two of them.
I've been fans of trash owners. It sucks. I've had to deal with the Dolan my whole life, the Will Ponds before Steve Cohen bought the Mets.
Honestly, I think Tom Coughlin cursed his team. And honestly, I don't blame him for doing so.
Don't blame him because I know I said it last week, but when he said I'm not going to fire Joe Judge because he's the next Bill Parcells. You had the next Parcells, moron. You let him go. He won you 2 Super Bowls and you disrespected him.
2 Super Bowls, bro. Good times.
Coughlin deserves so, and you could say whatever you want about Coach Coughlin, how he's a hard ass, old school, the 5-minute thing. You could say whatever you want. Guess what? It worked in New York.
It worked.
Won 2 Super Bowls, multiple playoff appearances because of Tom Coughlin. The team was at least competitive under Tom Coughlin.
And
At
obviously,
the end, but that was also Jerry Reese not giving them the resources he needed.
and we're not, and this isn't any reflection on how we feel about Shane and Daboll, but
No,
they just
it's not. It's just what we feel about Mara and what he did.
mhm. And they deserve their guy. And if they get their guy, they need time to work with said guy. You can't just give him 1 year with the new folk quarterback and be like, oh, it's not working. Let's fire Shane and Daboll. These two were brought in together as a team. They had success in Buffalo when they had their own guy in Josh Allen, and they had success. Daboll was the OC, and that Bills offense was operated much smoother than it has in the past few years because Daboll was the OC over there and helped out Josh Allen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You come here to New York, you're the head coach, you're the new GM, you're stuck with a quarterback who you did not draft. You're stuck with you got a running back that you did not draft in Saquon. The whole roster was not yours. And in the past few seasons, you've turned it around. You made the playoffs your first year because your defense played well and you ran the ball well. The second year of your regime, it was really bad. But you got the 6th overall pick. All the good quarterbacks were taken. What do? You get a wide receiver number 1. You build out the rest of the roster. You get a great slot corner in Phillips. You get a
guy who's going to be a really good safety in Tyler Nubin.
Really
like,
good safety.
People are not admitting that because they still want to admit that letting Xavier McKinney was a mistake. And maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was. But
maybe.
You can't ask anything more than what Tyler Nubin has done for this team.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, McKinney did struggle his first year with the Giants, so it just takes time. It takes time.
I don't even think Nubin's struggling. He's leading the team in tackles every single game.
Exactly, and that says something. So Nubin's kind of ahead of schedule. It just needs some time. So yeah, this team has drafted well, and honestly, if you want any comparison between Shane and other GMs of the Giants, let's not forget the 2021 draft when we thought Kadarius Toney and family and friends were the solution during that.
Is he just the only guy left from that draft?
Yeah, Jalari is the only one from that draft that's still on this team, and he's turned it around the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. But his always problem was injuries. He's just not been hurt this year. So,
exactly.
Give him the pass.
Yeah. Speaking about the defense, they played all right. 5 sacks. Lawrence had 2. Burns had 1. Ojulari with 1. Tamon Fox with 1. They held the Eagles to 1 for 13 on 3rd down. Limited Jalen Hurts to 114 passing yards and 1 touchdown to A.J. Brown, who had 5 catches for 89. But the rushing attack was just dominant for Philadelphia. And that's when it was dominant like that, they didn't have to throw the football.
But if you watched like when Saquon Barkley had his biggest runs, when Dexter Lawrence wasn't on the field,
Mm-hmm.
they were missing that big, clog in the middle.
And I think that's one of the weaknesses of this team. And I saw a lot of attention focused towards that, is that the Giants didn't really address depth on the D line, because when Lawrence is out, like you just mentioned, teams are able to just run the ball or take advantage of that. Same set can be said for left tackle. When we had, even though we had Andrew Thomas, it'd be nice to get some depth behind him instead of putting Josh Azudu out there. And I saw a lot of people say, "Oh, well, the Giants should have, addressed depth in the offseason." I'm like, yeah, but
Rome wasn't built in a day.
yeah, like none of us can predict Andrew Thomas was going to get hurt. And we couldn't predict either that without Dexter Lawrence, this Giants team isn't capable. I mean, we have Elijah Chapman and we have Raheem Nunez-Roches. It's just those guys can't get the job done when it comes to stopping the run or getting any pressure on the quarterback when Lawrence is off the field. But that just, again, shows how important Lawrence is to this team. That's why he's the best defensive tackle in the NFL, which is crazy to say considering there's guys like Chris Jones out there. But, I mean, all around, teams fear Lawrence. And I'm grateful that we have that. At the same time, though, we're just wasting his performance. He even said it himself after the game that all the sacks are great, but it doesn't matter if we keep losing. Yeah, we're losing because, ironically, you're the same guy. The guy under center is the same guy that you were drafted alongside with in the first round years ago.
Mm-hmm. One's a home run, one's horrific.
And the other one is somewhere on a practice squad.
He's in the UFL. Yeah, I think he's in UFL.
There's on a practice squad or something.
I mean, yeah. maybe he earned a practice squad spot. No, he's on the DC Defenders.
Oh, geez.
All UFL team in 2024. Good for him.
See, so he's turned it around a little bit. Saquon Barkley.
He never did anything bad. He just robbed people.
Yeah. Which is a pretty bad thing.
He was going to go to jail.
Which is a bad thing in itself. But yeah, Saquon at 165, Gainwell 56. Shipley had 15 rushing yards as well. Both Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns played into the fourth quarter, and then they got pulled out of the game just because the score was out of reach. And those two guys deserved it just to prevent any further injuries. There was one play I do want to mention where Deonte Banks was chasing sort of chasing Hurts in the fourth quarter. His effort was lacking because the ability to tackle Hurts was there, but you kind of just let him run past. Quarterback coach Jerome Henderson kind of lit up to him on the sideline after the play happened, as he should. So for me, that is a bit concerning because I think this is the second time this season Deonte Banks has not given effort on a play. And that's not what I want from a quarterback number one. So please, Deonte, not that it's a big of a concern to the both of us, right? But please just let's not make this a thing. Yeah, I understand you're frustrated like a lot of the Giants players and coaching staff are with the team's performance. But please just let's not have this happen again because I like you, Banks. I do. You are the cornerback number one. You have the ability to do so. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Again.
No. But that's where coach needs to step up and he's a second year guy. He's immature. He's in his early 20s. Let the coaching be like, hey, can't do that.
Can't do that. And final point for the Giants, guys, we are approaching the 50-minute mark, and we still haven't moved on to the rest of the NFL slate or the Mets stuff. It's just this team. I know we may have sounded like a broken record, and I do want to apologize to you guys ahead of time.
But it's the same thing week in and week out. Like, what do you expect?
And I hope we hope you guys understand that. And of course, if you have any further comments on this team, please drop it in the comment section. But other than that, overall, as long as 8th under center, we'll be back here every single week trying to find positives. But as long as 8th under center, there will be no positives. Final point: Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are 1-10 in games against the Eagles and Dallas Cowboys during their 3 seasons as part of the Giants. That lone win was against the Eagles when they eventually registered their starters last season. The Giants are 10-21-1 since their 7-2 start to the 2022 season. Yeah, that says a lot because we had a great start to that 2022 season. We kind of stumbled down the stretch, still made the postseason with that win against Indianapolis in week 17. But yeah, since then it's been rough times. You know, we had those ups with the Minnesota wildcard win and then those downs like the Philadelphia divisional loss. And it's been just downhill since. So
It's been a snowball.
yeah. Look, I'll give Brian the final point here before we move on. But for me, it's the same thing, different day. We're not going to beat Pittsburgh. Their defense is phenomenal. Russell Wilson had a rejuvenation on Sunday night. And as long as 8's under center, it doesn't matter. I feel like the frustration will continue to get worse and worse for this Giants team. And Jones will not be the starter when the Commanders come to town in 2 weeks. Brian?
Yeah, I just start watching college to find your next quarterback.
Yeah. Giants are currently top 10 in terms of their next year's draft pick. I think number 8, right? Or 9?
Oh, ironic.
No.
Tankathon.
Yeah, let's see what Tankathon.
We are 9.
Yeah,
9 behind the Raiders, Jacksonville, New Orleans, the Jets, Tennessee, Cleveland, Carolina, New England all ahead of us.
A lot of competition for our top pick.
Yeah, but we could trade up. Like Cleveland's kind of stuck. We can trade up with them. Tennessee, no. The Jets maybe could be looking to move. New Orleans could be looking to move. Jacksonville could be looking to move. So not we're 9, but there's options for us to move up.
It's not like all the teams want a quarterback anyways or need a quarterback.
Yeah, like Jacksonville's got Trevor Lawrence. New Orleans is stuck with Derek Carr. Jets are stuck with Rodgers. Cleveland's stuck with Watson. So, like, we can move up.
Yeah, so injury-wise, Hyatt has a cracked rib like we mentioned earlier. Special teams guy Ty Summers has an ankle injury. Yeah, Brian Burns had a groin injury that he played through pretty much the whole game before getting taken out in the 4th. Cordell Fly had a groin injury as well. So we'll see what the injury report looks like. The Giants play Monday night at Pittsburgh, so we'll have a team preview of the Steelers on Thursday. But, yeah. Anyways. Hey, thank God there's 31 other teams that play in the NFL, so we can talk about them. NFL Week 7, fun week. Yeah. What? Oh, damn! So that means we're almost halfway through the season. Tears.
Yeah, isn't it? It moves so fast.
It moves so fast. It seems like yesterday was week 1. Not that it's worth remembering because we wore those ugly uniforms. Plus, we lost to Minnesota. Yay!
But like teams have established themselves now. It's like, oh, okay, like we kind of know what these teams are.
Exactly. The Denver Broncos and the New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton returned to New Orleans, demolished his former team 33-10. Bo Nix playing well. It'll take some time, but both Payton and Nix definitely have a bright future together, I would say. As for the Saints, they looked like trash.
I mean, they're in a worse situation than we are because, like, at least we can get out of our contract. You're kind of stuck with Derek Carr. You can't really move on.
Yeah, true. Spencer Rattler.
Yay!
Yay!
Like he's exciting.
This would be the great time to re-sign Michael Thomas. Because ain't no way you're gonna.
I never know what the Saints cap situation is because it always just feels like it's a mess.
Me too, and they somehow figure it out. But that
every offseason, it's like the Saints are $60 million over the cap. It's like how?
But they signed this and this.
They figure out, and you just like they figure out this way, like they cut this guy and did this. I'm like, I think they just are like just committing tax fraud. What it sounds like
paying some sort of tax or something to the NFL to be able to sign players. But yeah, there's no way you can give Spencer Rattler, Cedric Wilson, Bub Means, and Mason Tipton as your top 3 wide receivers, and expect them to do good. So, Alvin Kamara, possibly a trade candidate for the deadline. Who knows? But keep an eye on the same situation. Doesn't look that good over there. The Jags put up 32 on the Patriots in London, but I feel like the more important story is Drake May, who continues to grow.
Yeah,
276 passing yards, 2 touchdowns in the loss in London. So shout out to the Patriots and Drake May.
good. Proving us wrong. He looks good. We just
Yeah.
said we didn't want him. Thought he was going to be terrible. Thought it's Daniel Jones 2.0. Like, but what we've seen so far, he looks fine. He looks like he'd be a quarterback of the future there.
And he's doing all this despite a very bad offensive line and uninspiring weapons.
Yep.
Good for you, May.
Exactly. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, honestly, I remember that clip in Hard Knocks when he was talking with Daboll. Dude, that brought me to tears, man.
When he dissects that play, I'm like, okay, I might have been wrong. This guy might be a football genius. Like, he might just have the Brady in him, where he's just so competitive and so smart with football that it doesn't matter what his skill set is.
Yeah, and Daboll was just smiling and everything. Like, he was like, "Damn, I want this guy," but damn, man, if only. But hey, grateful for Malik Neighbors, obviously, but would be nice to have a quarterback. Amari Cooper looked good in his first game with the Bills, who demolished the Titans, by the way, 34-10. Cooper caught a touchdown. Keon Coleman had a breakout game, sort of, in a way. Had 4 catches for 125 yards. Both guys look good. And Josh Allen looks good as well. And the Titans did not play Will Levis. It was Mason Rudolph. But, you put a what's the thing? When you put something on a piece of crap, it's still a piece of crap, whatever that saying goes.
Oh, you put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig.
It's still a pig. Yeah, you go. And that's what the Titan situation is. So they are a bit of a mess over there as well. The Bengals quietly defeated the Browns 21-14, but the more important story here is Deshaun Watson towards Achilles. He'll be out for the rest of the year.
Myles Garrett with the most insane quote of all time.
What do you say?
He said, I don't know why fans were cheering when Deshaun Watson got hurt. He was a great man throughout his college and most of his NFL career.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because
bro, he's technically not wrong. For most of his NFL career, he was a good guy. He started getting massages.
And then everything went downhill. And he's going to get more massages.
But, the massages only started a couple of years ago. So for most of his time, he was okay.
Yeah.
He was a good guy, I guess.
Yeah, but the past few years, not so much.
You're skipping a lot of context, but you know what? He's technically not wrong.
I do love the fact that his teammates did defend him, but let's be honest. When Watson was on the field this past few years, has not looked like the quarterback that he was signed to be, or traded and signed to be when he was dealt from the Texans to the Browns. So
he's just a bad person. You don't want to root for injuries, but Deshaun Watson's a bad person. You like when bad things happen to bad people.
Yeah. So, I don't blame the fans for booing him.
No.
And cheering when he got injured.
Not watch him anymore. Now you have to watch Jameis Winston and I forgot the other guy's name. But at least they're fun. Yeah. At least they're fun.
I can't wait till Jameis Winston throws for 200 yards plus 3 touchdowns and 3 picks. Just like old times, Jameis.
It's the best stat line in the world.
Just like old times. Just like old times. But we'll talk about injuries in just a bit as there's more. There was more injuries that happened this past weekend that are very notable. Packers defeated the Texans 24-22 in a game-winning field goal. The Lions also won the game-winning field goal as well by Jake Bates, 31-29. Jared Goff went off 22-25, 280, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 8 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown as well. Commanders defeat the Panthers.
Crazy, but NFC goes to Detroit.
Goes to Detroit. And why not? They deserve it.
Good for the Lions. Good for the Lions and their fans.
They're a great team.
We're actually gonna see on Thanksgiving. It's actually not gonna be a joke. It's gonna be let's watch the Lions game.
Mm-hmm. Ever since Dan Campbell took over, and they've had this success, there's never been a bad moment with this team. They're a team that even the average NFL fan can root for.
It's football's version of the Cubs.
Yeah.
How do you hate the Cubs?
Yeah, you can't hate the Lions. I mean, you have to love the Lions. You have a great head coach he is such a player's coach. But it's just because everyone loves him. He relates to all of them. He motivates every single one of them. The coaching staff is phenomenal with Aaron Glenn at defensive coordinator and Ben Johnson at the OC. Jared Goff has completely turned himself around. It's like a complete 360. Like he's playing like the first overall pick that he was drafted to be by the Rams. Who, by the way, f you guys for trading him away. You gave up on him too early, and this is what you get.
Yeah, I mean they did win a Super Bowl.
I
think it's a win-win. I think both sides won. The Rams got their Super Bowl, and the Lions are building something incredible.
Lions are built for long-term success. Rams had that breakout year.
Yeah, well, the Rams also built their team through free agency and the draft and trades. Like that's a recipe for short-term success, regardless. The Lions are actually smart and built the roster through the draft. They just happened to trade for a good quarterback.
All I'm gonna say is it was not Goff's fault that they lost over there. It was a supporting cast. You give Goff Cooper Cup that Super Bowl year, they would have won the Super Bowl too. So, yeah, good luck with dealing with your injury-riddled roster, Rams. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna honestly Brown on the way went off too.
Williams, if you want to give him up.
Who, me?
No, the Rams. If the Rams want to give up Kerryon Williams, we'll take him.
Oh, I was gonna say if I think I'm talking about fantasy team, I was like, I don't have.
No.
But hey, yeah, man, hey, we could use. We'll trade Singletary for Kyron Williams. There you go. Put Kyron and Tyrone Tracy.
You want another injury riddle guy? Here you go.
There you go. Injury guy for an injury guy. Yeah, but the Commanders defeat the Panthers 40-7 despite Jaden Daniels leaving early with an injury. He is considered week to week as well. But Marcus Mariota, 18 of 23, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad for the.
It does suck though, because like all the comparisons to RG3 and the injuries are starting.
Oh,
don't tell me we're on the same road.
No, I hope not. I do hope not.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we are, but like it's just like, man,
it's scary to think about.
All we said about him is the next RG3, and it's like what happened to RG3? The injury started, and it just derailed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think Washington is a better run organization now than it was a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and honestly, they deserve to be. They went through so much crap this past decade plus, and now you have an owner who cares in Josh Harris. You have
a great head coach in Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn, who's building a really good culture.
Mm-hmm.
Kingsbury looks like a good coordinator
he's
again.
Turned around.
Mm-hmm. Hey, some guys are just built to be coordinators.
Yeah,
and Kingsbury just one of those. Nothing wrong with it. Just one of those guys.
Yeah. Like him and Daniels are going to be a great duo for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Kingsbury, man. I mean, he struggled in Arizona, but now with the back as an OC role like he was in college, hell yeah, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night game: Steelers defeat the Jets 37-15 in the first game for Devontae Adams as a New York Jet, which he was very quiet. 3 catches, 30 yards on 9 targets. Ouch.
Yeah, like I was watching the Mets and I was filming the hockey podcast that I have now with Ryan. And I remember checking the score at halftime and it was 15-13 Jets. I'm like, okay, this seems, pretty like an average game. And then like the Mets happened. I turned my phone off. I went to bed. Like I didn't even check anything else. I remember just waking up the next morning. I'm like, what the hell happened in the second half? What do you mean the Steelers? What do you mean the Steelers won 37-15?
All I'm gonna say is Russell Wilson, dude. I know he looked good, man. First game back, looks pretty good. I remember Mike Conlon was asked post game in his press conference like about the move, and he was like, "Yeah, that's why I get paid the big bucks, man. Or that's why I get paid or compensated nicely or
that's why I had a losing season in 15 years."
Yeah, dude. Like, hey, great head coach, the Tomlin is, and that's a pretty well-run organization over there in Pittsburgh. But it's just the whole quarterback situation did bother me. But hey, Russell Wilson played great.
I mean, like it's a well-run organization, but it has its problems that just have never boiled over. Yeah. A lot of divas in that locker room.
George Pickens.
We do have on this show Marquez Bryant, Antonio Brown, Deontay Johnson, all with the same problems. Why does this keep popping up?
Mm-hmm. So. And then finally, we have two Monday night games. One of them was ugly as heck by Arizona. They won 17-15 over the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert threw for 349 yards, and they still lost because the Chargers are that bad. J.K. Dobbins, the whole,
Could Justin Herbert be on the trade block? I don't think so. But Harbaugh did not draft Justin Herbert. Harbaugh wants a guy that fits his scheme better and doesn't feel Herbert's that guy. Is he available? And if he's available, that might be someone the Giants look at.
I would not mind Justin Herbert at all. Fun fact, I did a simulation on Madden 25. Update, that game has been deleted because it is trash. I don't care what anyone says. That was a waste of $55.
Man, I started playing NHL. Not bad.
Oh, the new one. Oh.
Nice graphics. Jersey looks so clean.
Honestly, I don't understand enough about hockey to play that game. So
I play franchise mode on it. It's fun.
Fair enough. I traded for Justin Herbert in the offseason of year one, after year one of Madden 25. We won the Super Bowl that next year. So
quarterback away.
Just a quarterback away. But yeah, look, overall, Chargers won. The Chargers lost that game despite a great performance from Justin Herbert. So look, man, Herbert's a good quarterback. It's just the team around him is really bad. So yeah, and then the best
neighbors.
Yeah, come over here, man. We got a great cast for you over here. We got a coach who needs you, a team that needs you, and we have great weapons that you can work along with. So maybe we'll get something done. Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning part 2, not necessarily, but similar. We worked with you guys before. We'll work with you guys.
It might have been almost 2 decades ago, but we did work with you that one time, and it worked out pretty well for both of us.
It worked, yeah. You guys got Rivers, and we got
a little bit more than you.
Yeah, ours won a Super Bowl. You guys didn't. But hey, both of them gave you guys long careers.
In New England.
Yeah, see, so. And then the best Monday night game on the slate, the Ravens and Bucks. Ravens, it was a great game, 41-31. An onside kick was recovered by Tampa in the fourth quarter. Derrick Henry went off 15 carries, 169 yards. Like I said, best game of the Monday night slate, but more importantly, injuries took a toll, not just in this game, but this week as a whole, right? Chris Godwin is out for the year with a dislocated ankle. Now, please don't look at the play if you guys have not yet. The fact that the broadcast didn't show that injury again after it happened, that's a big red flag that it was just really bad. I was working. I saw that he went down. I didn't see how the ankle injury came about. So my nosy
you want to.
Yeah, my nosy ass will probably look it up after the show. But
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just gonna let the sleeping dog lie.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, he's out for the year. Mike Evans got hurt in this game as well. So we'll see the status of Evans as we approach later in the week. But hopefully both of those guys, or hopefully Evans is available, because otherwise Mayfield will be working with a young rookie and Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard as his top 2 wide receivers. Not the most promising.
We know how that works. Not great.
Not great. Nope. When Shepard's your number 1, number 2, there's no knock on Shepard, but there's a reason why he's
Shepard. There's a reason why he's on this team anymore.
There's a reason why. But yeah, I think injuries took a toll on a lot of players this past week. Not just Evans.
Very big injury bug.
Yeah.
Injury bug week.
What's his name? Aiyuk is
out for the season.
Yeah.
I think it was reported late last night.
Yes.
Morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, looking back now, it's like, oh yay, he got his money, which is good for him. But for the team itself, it's like, shit.
An absolute disaster of a contract. Like, this has gone worse than they even could have imagined. Like, at this point, like, John Lynch is like, I should have just traded him to Pittsburgh a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, we can't predict the injuries and everything, but the Niners now are such a mess. I was looking at the injury report Aiyuk's out for the year. Daboll has pneumonia. Kittle has an injury he's battling.
Again, another crazy report that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like right before kickoff, it's like Deebo Samuel in the hospital. It's like, what?
Yeah, because I think Daboll, he was active, ready to go, played 3 snaps. Then he went to the sideline, required an oxygen mask, left the game. I would know there was a lot of customer complaints.
Tebow's got pneumonia. I want my money back. Sorry about that.
See, what happened was he played, so technically we
If
can't.
he played, so you're screwed.
You're screwed. Can you predict injuries? No, but here we are. Yeah, but the Niners are a mess. But hey, I think we spoke about this last year. This is a test for Brock Purdy. Hypothetically, if Debo and Kittle are out, I mean, obviously Aiyuk's going to be out, but if Kittle and Samuel are out, let's see it, Purdy. Are you a top 10 quarterback?
Jennings.
Let's figure it out. You got Jawan Jennings, you got Ricky Pearsall, not the most dangerous weapons in the world. Plus, you don't have CMC still. Let's see what you got. Prove us wrong. Not us wrong, but just prove to the NFL.
You want to get the respect you feel you deserve?
Damn right.
Here's the time to earn it.
Damn right. But yeah, just injuries all around this week. So hopefully all the players get better soon. With Daniels and Godwin and Aiyuk and Samuel, and just it was a mess across the league.
A lot of star players, which just hurts the league. Like the league, no one loses what the league does when you get these guys out.
Yeah. So otherwise, a great week 7 of football. Yeah. Every week keeps going by fast, man. I just kind of wish it slows down a little bit because despite our team, the team is doing bad, there's other teams that are very entertaining to watch. And I'm grateful that the NFL exists and football will forever be something that we love. But hopefully it gets better once our team figures it out. So. All right. Brian, I will let you take over these next 2 segments. First off, your New York Mets unfortunately fell to the Dodgers in Game 6 on Sunday night. But let's be honest, not a lot of negative vibes because you guys had a great season. So, buddy, this is all you, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very fair to be sad after this game. Like, let's be honest. You're 2 wins away from a World Series. There's no guarantee you're going to be back. And if you're a Mets fan, you know that. You know, in 2000, you got to the World Series and lost. Didn't return to the playoffs until 2006. Had a heartbreaker in Game 7 of the LCS. Again, didn't return to the playoffs until 2015. Heartbreaking World Series where we were clearly the better team. Just got contact to death. Missed another opportunity. Sure, we got back to the playoffs in 2016, but the 1-game playoff didn't really feel like it. Didn't go to the playoffs again until 2022. Lost in the wild card round, and then this year, you know, back to. My phone is very buzzy. I don't know why. Anyway, that's a future problem. But this year, all the magic, everything. 2 wins away from the World Series. Yeah, you can be sad. But when you look back, it's been a few days now, when I'll be able to look back on it, this has been the most fun I've ever had watching a Mets season. From, the trade deadline last year when Max Scherzer was ripping us in the media saying 2024 is transition. They don't want to win until 2025, 2026. Going into this year with the 0-5 start, 11 games under 500. Jorge Lopez throwing his glove in the stands and calling us the worst team in the major leagues to magically go from being dead and wondering if Pete Alonso and, JD Martinez were going to be traded at the trade deadline and what could we get for them, to going on a magic run, to being buyers at the deadline, to Grimace and Hawktua and Seymour Wiener and OMG. How can you not look back on this season and smile? It's one of the most special seasons. It feels like the Mets it feels like this is the start of something special for the Mets, because this is the team that should not be there and got there. We have an owner in Steve Cohen who wants to spend money to win. We have a general manager in David Stearns who is going to spend that money smartly. And we have a guy in Mendoza who is a really good locker room guy, can handle adversity. He might overmanage from time to time, but no one's perfect. Every man. Joe Torre, I bet you overmanaged games from here and there. He won 4 World Series. Right? He looks like going to be the guy in the future. Nimmo and Lindor are locked up long term. Mark Vientos looks like a budding superstar. Like, there's a lot to be positive about this team. If they fill in a couple holes and re-sign guys like Alonso and Sean Manaea and Jesse Winker, there's no reason why 2025 can't be our year.
And like you mentioned, Jorge Lopez or Max Scherzer called out this team, right, and said this team isn't isn't gonna be ready to contend until 2025, 2026. You guys are ready, man. I mean,
we did more with pitching that we ever did with Max Scherzer. All we have for Max Scherzer is coming up short in 2 big games because he laid an egg in Atlanta and then completely fell apart in game 1 of the wild card round against San Diego. We gave up 7 runs. Like, bro, respectfully, shut up. One in Texas, when you're always hurt and never doing anything, we'll take Luis Angel Acuna, who, I know the short sample size, but he filled in Lindor shoes pretty well at short, and I'm really excited to see where his future is with this team because he's got one. Yeah, whether it's second base, whether it's, say Alonso goes and we have to move him to third and move Vientos to first, whatever it is, he'll have some spot with his team.
He looks like an exciting player. He really does.
Yeah.
I will say just props to your pitching staff, dude. And the reason why I pointed that out is because you wrote an article beginning of the year about the pitching staff and how that was a sort of a concern. You guys completely turned a lot of heads this year.
David Stearns. David Stearns for going out there and finding the right guys. And if we don't sign Sean Manaea, which
oh my goodness, yeah,
that would stink. But I also have confidence that David Stearns will just go find the next Sean Manaea.
And Manaea played extremely well this season, especially down the stretch, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, he'll never be understated what he's done. And that's why I want him back so bad, because he is like a complete different pitcher than when we signed him. But if we have to let him walk, it's not the end of the world, because Manaea was nothing when he came here and turned into this pitcher with us. To say we just can't do that with all the money that's going into the player development. We have a pitching lab now, which is seemingly working, as we've seen career seasons from Manaea, Severino, David Peterson, Jose Quintana, a lot of guys. Even Paul Blackburn, I think a lot of guys forget. He only pitched 5 starts, and he was decent. Just
wait till next year. He's going to be really good.
I don't want to say he's going to be an ace or anything, but I see him as a perfect 4th or 5th spot slash swing guy in the bullpen. A guy that can start a game or just be in the bullpen and do both. You need that on a big league roster.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, back with the A's.
Yeah,
when I watched him, he was.
His first 2 starts were great. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Yeah,
just confidently.
Yeah, I do hope you guys resign Manaea. I mean, I saw him just take care of the Phillies.
He loves it here, so I think he would take a hometown discount to come back. But he might be one of the MVPs of this team. He is.
Yeah, he took care of the
Phillies. Obviously Lindor, but after Lindor, it might be Manaea.
Yeah. Severino looked good this year as well. Senga just needs more time.
Senga was hurt a lot this year. He had a really good season last year, and I know people are going to point to the NLCS, game 1. Guys, he's pitched 13 innings all year. He's not going to find the strike zone. He hasn't pitched. He's not warmed up.
Yeah. Honestly, just to go back in the Dodgers series, it's
a better team. It's just ready into a juggernaut, a team that is like the best offense maybe of all time. Because it's just like a team that just sits there and waits for their pitch, and when they get it, they hit it out of the ballpark.
They get it. Yeah. It's more their offense that's getting the job done. Their pitching is very suspect. I mean, I never seen a team make the World Series with such a suspect of a pitching rotation.
Bullpen games in the World Series. Like,
I
they're
know.
going to have bullpen games.
I know how crazy that is. Like the MLB has changed completely over the past few years, and the fact that we're gonna see a lot of bullpen games now in the World
Yeah.
Series, like you just said, like holy crap, it's because well they don't have any starters. It's
Oh my! Like, it's just like this team is so good, and just imagine if they had Ohtani, Glass now. Imagine if they were pitching.
Oh, it would have been a sweep. Well, that's the Yankees,
It
so
would have been a sweep. It probably would have been a sweep. Maybe we would have won one game.
yeah, but that's what ifs. You guys pushed them to 6 games. Honestly, so happy for you guys, man. You guys played extremely well. I'm really excited for the division next year, because with the Braves, the Phillies, the Mets, that's pretty much it. Because this is
Like, they have like the Nationals are building, so they'll be good in a couple years. The Marlins are a mess.
yeah, it'll be a few years before those teams kind of get back on track. But for
The Nationals are exciting right now because their prospects are starting to come up, but they're still a year or two away from actually like making noise.
let the big dogs compete up top.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be they're. I can see them next year like high 70s, low 80s, and just being that scrappy team.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are. The record doesn't say it, but it's actually a really good ball club.
Exactly. Well, unlike the A's, who they'll be playing on artificial grass at least. In Sacramento, not turf.
What a disaster!
F you, John Fisher, and F you, John Mara. Anyways, crazy how both names start with John. And then yeah, anything else about the Mets, buddy, or just overall? That's
no. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of Met content coming out. I have the eulogy written right now. We'll do what we did at the deadline. Like, we're gonna do like, should the Mets resign this player or not? Should free agency targets? We'll do that in the coming weeks until I switch to hockey. But yeah, that's Met content coming out pretty soon. A lot of it. So keep on the look for that.
As we all will. The Irish, what do you got on them, man? They won. I mean,
Just another dominated victory. I will say, like, they've learned to overcome adversity. I wrote this in the Notre Dame debriefing, which is up on Belly Up Sports right now. In the NIU game, which is, one of the worst losses in Notre Dame history, there was a play where I felt everything changed. And it was early in this, I forget exactly when it was, but it was the 83-yard touchdown pass that tied the game. Notre Dame got punched in the mouth and just couldn't respond. They got hit and they just were never able to get back. In the Georgia Tech game, Riley Leonard throws one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. He's trying to hit Bo Collins down the field, and then Georgia Tech marches downfield for a touchdown. That was us getting punched in the mouth again. And what this Irish team do? They went out there for the next 3 offensive drives and scored a touchdown every single time. Like, that to me shows growth. That this team, okay, hey, we got punched, we're going to punch back, and we're punching back harder. So that was what my main takeaway was. And then, stuff like, defense is still an elite level without guys like Ben Morrison and Tobar. Like, it's still playing at that elite level. Creative with special teams. Like, it's, it was just a good overall victory that kind of calm some concerns I think Irish fans had, but the real test is next week when we go to MetLife Stadium to play Navy. Like game. Mic's off. Mic's off, buddy. I can't hear you.
Oops. I was gonna say, so okay, so you guys are playing on Saturday at MetLife. Giants are at Pittsburgh Monday. I don't know if the Jets are playing on Sunday at MetLife. I mean, not like it matters. It's just something.
It doesn't matter. Like they do Sunday Monday nights all the time.
Patriots. Yeah, so they're New
That's for
England.
New
Okay.
England. That's for New England. So like it doesn't even matter.
Maybe one of our teams will win at MetLife.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
man.
Maybe they get to see Notre Dame score. Actually, let me check tickets for that game because I had thought about going.
Ooh.
I've never seen the Irish play live, and they're so close. Let's see what they're charging.
That's why our sponsor comes in handy. SeatGeek. Use the code BELLEVE Sports for $20 off your first purchase.
Okay, actually, not terrible.
See, nice job, SeatGeek.
$100 to sit in section 124.
Ooh,
for Giant games.
It's a more competent team than you've seen this year.
Yeah, damn, this might need to be considered.
Pull the trigger. We'll find out Thursday. Let us know Thursday.
Yeah. Surprise! Did Brian spend money?
All right. But yeah, overall, man. Yeah, college football. Who would have thought Army and Navy would be undefeated this far?
Hey,
America.
good for them.
America.
America's team. First time since 1926.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
They've been 7-0 this deep in the season. First time since 26. Like
98.
back when Army and Navy ran the sport.
Jeez. My grandparents weren't even born.
Which is crazy to think about. There was a time that Army and Navy were like the Alabama and Georgia of college football.
And who knows? Maybe they'll. Okay, no, but
maybe they're back. I mean, I would love Army or Navy to make the college football playoffs, but that means they had to beat Notre Dame, so it's kind of tough.
Oh fudge! Well, yeah, true, huh? It's like pick your poison. Which one?
It's like all right. Do I want the fun thing or do I want my team to make the playoffs? Which way's better, down or up? I don't know. Notre Dame is. I obviously want Notre Dame over Army or Navy.
Yeah, but they might play.
I love the troops, but it's
They might play each other twice because they'll play each other in the Army Navy game,
That'd
right?
Be awesome,
dude. Hell yeah! But then again,
I love Army Navy. It's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go. But like if they play twice, it's gonna be must-watch television,
dude. And then if one of them makes the playoffs, you'd be like Navy versus Alabama. Oh, yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, Navy traveling to Bama. If Navy or Army pulls an upset off in the college football playoffs, like it will be the greatest storyline in sports.
Dude, America's gonna go freaking crazy if that happens. Like, damn, the troops can
America will just rally behind that team.
Yeah, that would be a true underdog story. Who knew if it gets to that point, the option offense is that shit.
But you think like Army, Navy are good, but it's not like they're they are dominating these teams. Like it is multiple scores they're winning by.
Mm-hmm. And sure, they play in either a weak conference or they're independent, but the dominant one's a dominant win.
49-28. It shows that you're capable of playing with the big boys.
I think they're throwing the ball more too. I think that's what they're doing.
I've seen more passing. Yeah. I had a guy I went to college with. He went down to West Point for a game, and he's like, the stadium is packed. He's like, I've been going to Army games for a while, and there's always been a good crowd here. Nothing like this.
Dang. See, teams can turn things around. You see that, Giants? Yeah, you can turn it around too. You just gotta get rid of that mother. Anyways, that'll wrap it up for episode 34.
We're done.
We're done. Other than the podcast, because that's what they got. The more we go on, the more we're gonna just keep getting to mad about number 8.
Back to Daniel Jones.
Always circles back to Daniel Jones. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for watching, listening. Preview for the upcoming schedule. There'll be another episode released today with one of my good buddies, Casey White. We'll be talking college football today live, so check us out there at around 5:00 p.m. Pacific, so 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Wednesday, Coach's Corner is back with Coach Anton Wilson. We'll be talking college ball as well, and then Brian's back on me Thursday. We'll have some fun stuff to talk about as well on that day. But as usual, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nathan_Nguyen24. And you can follow Brian on Twitter as well at BrianPG1016. And you can follow all of our social media at Third and 10 Pod on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Fun times ahead, boys. And I like I said at the beginning, from me and Brian, we appreciate you guys' support. I mean, honestly, our viewership and our content has been getting a lot of attention on all platforms, and we can't appreciate you guys enough for checking it out. So we thank you guys so much for giving us your support and your time and everything in between. So with that being said, thank you for listening and watching to episode 34 of the Third and 10 Podcast Season 2. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great one. Go Giants as always. And yeah.